Hello and welcome to the Sharam Namdarian podcast. I am Sharam Namdarian and this is the podcast. Yes, we've changed the name again back to the original title of the Sharam Namdarian podcast. I did a vote online. People seem to like the. I'm not sure if I do, but I'm just going to try that hat on again. Let's see what happens. This episode is called Vomit Quest. And if I could make a little fun animation, I'll put it here. So 3, 2, 1 and Vomit Quest. But this is a goal-setting episode. So this episode is all about setting goals. I want to share my intent with you, so that way when you see them happen, you'll be like, oh my God, he did it. That's crazy. But this idea of this episode is also that you follow along. So if you have any goals or things you want to share, maybe some reflections, please comment them in the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, the video version, there's comment section, so do that. Don't be afraid, or if you are afraid, be afraid. You're your own. I'm not your coach. But also, if you are on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, there is a link in the description, a fan mail link where you can drop a fan mail, and that will send me a text message directly, or it'll look like a text message to you. I'll just have a database because I'm very fancy like that, and I can read your message in the next episode if that was what you would like. And if that's not what you'd like, you know what? Just cower in your little boots. Cower like this. The something that you are. So this episode is called Vomit Quest for one particular reason. In comedy, that is one of my quests. And I'll explain what that is in a second. But this episode, the premise of this episode is very simply put, it is a goal-setting thing. So what are things I would like to achieve? What are things I think should happen? But to preface it, of that, I meditate a lot. You'll hear me talk about this on the podcast quite a bit, that I do meditate quite a lot, that there are these ideas and things that come to me while I'm meditating. That was one of the reasons why I started stand-up comedy. But the reason why I want to bring up meditation first before talking about the podcast is healing, or meditation to me, is not just about resolving wounds, but it's about integrating thought. Now, what is integrated thought? Integrated thought to me is where you've actually digested the fact that you've thought a thing, and so you no longer have to rethink the thing. It becomes part of a new whole. That is who you are. So you have ideas, and more often than not, these ideas are hard to do, not because they're too big or too complicated or too whatever, but more because you haven't actually integrated. You haven't actually processed what the fuck it is you actually want to do. So I've got some crazy ideas that I want to share. Some I'm going to only share the idea of it, and some of them I'm not going to share the actual thing. But the first and foremost when it comes to my quest with stand-up comedy is to craft jokes that are so good. And this might be an impossible goal, but I like impossible goals. So good that they do elicit a gag reflex, or the higher goal, a vomit reflex. So that would be crazy. How funny does a thing have to be in order for it to be so funny that someone vomits? Now, I shared this with someone and they were like, yeah, you could go to an old folks home. You could go to a place, you could go to a acid reflux clinic. You could go to places where, you just feed them a heavy meal and then do comedy. Stuff like that, where the situation is that more likely they're going to vomit. And I laughed and I was like, yeah, set your standards low, So the reason why I brought up the whole process of like integrated thought is that for me, what I love is impossible goals, impossible tasks, things that are so insane that they inspire thought. And maybe it's because I struggle with some thoughts that I need something that's so crazy that it's like, well, maybe, but the goal pulls me. The goal pulls me. The goal pulls me so much that when I see things that are like, oh, that's funny. It's like, how could it be so funny that people vomit? They're laughing so hard that they vomit. Now, I asked AI this because I couldn't Google it. I asked AI, has there been the case? And of course, the current state of AI is that they gaslight you. They're like, yeah, like if you look real hard, like there's been some anecdotes, but there's been no specific evidence of either a joke or a series of jokes that are recorded that will make people vomit. And that to me is insane, right? How can I be the first person to have it recorded that the joke makes people vomit? And who cares? Who cares if someone else sees this and they go, that's my quest now and I'm going to do it. And they do it and they beat me to it. Who cares? The level of artistry, the level of sophistication, the level of understanding that you will have to achieve that. That's not just laughter. That's not just killing. That's not just crushing. That is a level above that where the physiological response is so much that it hurts, that your body is literally at an emotional level rejecting something. I find vomit, when you have an emotional healing and you feel like you need to vomit, it's because you're literally rejecting aspects of yourself, or you're rejecting aspects of life. You're trying to push out. You're trying to let go. It's so to elicit a response so powerful that is the ultimate goal is such an inspiring thing for me. It puts into context quite a lot of the other activities that I would like to do. The other thing is, there's like games and stuff I want to make. That sounds fun. One of the other things is my partner and I were watching a show recently, and it inspired a show of my own, like an idea. I don't want to share too much about it, but it would be an insane sci-fi comedy. I don't want to throw anything more out there, but I'm coming up with the ideas now, and I'm sharing it with certain people, and they're like, so far I've only shared it with my partner, but I wanted it to sound vague because in the future I feel like I'll share it with more people, and they'd be like, interesting. But when I've shared it with my partner, I'm like, but is this derivative? And she's like, no, I don't know anything else that's like that. And what I have in my brain is a very advanced world-building brain. I've spent my whole life studying Warhammer, looking at Warhammer, making games, being this sort of thing where I create a world, where I answer questions. I'm let down by TV shows that can't answer simple questions that are simple for me, but are complex maybe for their writer. So maybe that's a point where I'm like, I need to actually start making my own shows. But to have an incredibly, and this is the problem here, to have an incredibly realistic looking, dare I say, sci-fi comedy, the one that I would like to make. Like if you've ever seen the show Foundation, one thing I really like about that is the cosmic scale of the show. It's not that great. Me and my partner love to watch it to hate on it, to be honest. There's like stuff that just makes us mad about the show. So angry, but the other parts that are so good, we keep watching it. But I love the grand scale of that. And in order to do that, I need a high budget. So this is why I'm putting this on the goal list, of something that, dare I say, is a long-term goal. And then you think like, okay, I'm going to make this show that is a sci-fi comedy. Where am I putting it on? Am I putting it on Amazon, where the Amazon people can see it? Am I putting it on Binge, where the Binge people can see it? And am I putting it on a platform where those specific platform people can see it? Can I put it on, but those people have money, so then they can help you fund the show. But am I putting it on YouTube where anyone can see it? So these are the questions. These are the questions I think that are really important to answer when you're creating something like this. And for the one time in my life now, dare I say, I'm finally letting myself admit to myself that what I would call as a high level of thought, insanity, which is why a previous name of this podcast was called Sharam's Insane Podcast, because to me the word insane means insane, in your sanity, in your mind, right? Where you've mulled it around in your head so much that it's insane because you've thought about it. It's in your mind, right? And what I used to call insane about myself in a bad way, I'm starting to realize is insane about myself in a good way. But in order for me to finally let this aspect of myself out, there were some foundational aspects of myself that needed to be integrated. And one of those things is, I talked about previously, struggled with feeling love. Oh my God, did I struggle with feeling love? Holy cow. And I am on a roll now. I'm healing. The comedy shows that I've been doing have all been fundamentally rebirthing, nothing less than an egoic rebirth that I am seeing that, so like I've got a rant here, and I know some comedians listen to this podcast, And if you do and you think this is about you, then it probably is. And I've been a culprit of this in myself. But I do think it's a culture in Australia that we have, dare I say, an aggressive tall poppy syndrome. We crap on and we argue with and we fight and we spite and we gossip and we rumor mill and we attack all the people that are above us in, dare I say, a hierarchy. And I think when you are above, dare I say, someone and you are being attacked, it's good to be able to transmute it. But what that does is it actually makes people struggle when they're at the bottom of the hierarchy. We become a crab pot. We become this a fear of tall poppy, and we then participate. You know, if someone is not, dare I say, enough to be on a show, to perform, we're more often as a community more likely to attack the show and attack the people emotionally than take that as a challenge to be better, right? We should be challenging each other to be better, to be more potent, to be funnier, to be exciting, to be better at the job that we have chosen to do. And rather than be afraid to be seen trying, and I'm starting to see that more, where I think as a community, we're so afraid to be seen as trying that when we start out more specifically, we're trying to be seen safe. We're trying to do it in a safe place. And let me throw this out there. There's nothing wrong with trying to be like safe about doing a thing. You're trying to develop aspects of yourself. So more often than not, they need to be in private. But this is what came first, the meatball or the chicken? What came first, the meatball or the egg? I don't know what the phrase is, but it is like I have become painfully aware that at least let's look at the comedy scene as a microcosm. What we do is we try and cram a gig wherever we can because we're trying to get the stage time to become funnier. But the gigs themselves are so crap because we're trying to just cram them anywhere because we're afraid of even trying. We're afraid of failure so fucking much that we just put them anywhere that becomes actually ironically more harmful. And then we go, I'm not good. And it's like, yeah, you're not good because the odds were stacked against you. We're not good or you're not good because you tried so hard. You're telling yourself you're not good so fucking much. The only thing you're comfortable with is failure. And it's the frustrating thing. And I've been a symptom of this, which is why I'm talking about healing. I'm talking about vomit quest. I'm talking about these high goals. You know, I keep hearing the phrase. There's a video out there of Jerry Seinfeld who has this, he talks about someone told him the advice. It's like, someone told Jerry Seinfeld the advice that it's better to fail at precisely it is the thing you want to be doing. Or Jim Carrey's advice where he says he saw his father fail at something he didn't want to be doing, so he might as well fail at the thing you want to be doing. And the more I think about this, the more I think I've been so emotionally stifled in my whole life that I don't even know how to answer that question. Like, great, let me fail at the thing I want to do, but what is the thing I want to do? That's such a hard question to answer. And I do think one of the core reasons is this zeitgeistal cultural trauma that at least Australians have that I may be projecting onto Australia. If you don't agree, please use the fan mail button. Please use the comment section. Let me know if I'm wrong. But holy crap-a-moly, I do think it's this thing where we're so afraid of being seen as trying because of how it makes us stand out, that when we stand out, we might be attacked, that if we were to fucking even think what we wanted to do, that would be scary. That if we tried to even believe in the first place that, yes, I want to make a sci-fi comedy that's insane, that even I'll read to you the script when it's done. Like, fuck it, we'll do a reading. But we're so afraid of being seen to want. And I have why don't we, it's not even believing in ourselves. The problem isn't that we don't believe in ourselves. The problem is that we don't even know how. We're so afraid of wanting that then people who make gigs, we cram them into whatever cram hole we can. And we're like, if I can make this good, I can make anything good. It's like, no, you can't polish a turd. And admittedly, you can get good at shit gigs. I think it's a skill set. I finally stopped blaming myself. I finally stopped saying that I'm not good because the odds were stacked against me. No, that's a different skill set to doing it in a clean, calm room where everyone's just listening. You know, it's just a different skill set. There's nothing fucking wrong. And so here's the thing, like, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to create? We are in a phase right now in our human existence where we as a society are craving meaning more than ever. We are craving consciousness. As AI art and AI production gets so much more prevalent, we are craving a quantitative effort of thought. And the more you can put that into a thing, the more powerful it will be. And people, there's a song, I can't remember, I heard it in IKEA. People tend to listen when they hear your soul, was a lyric of that song. And they're hearing your soul because you're not afraid to show it. You're not afraid to show it. And we're so afraid. We're so afraid of expressing ourselves that we make iterative advances because we're ashamed of even having dreams. I'm fed up. I'm annoyed. The vomit quest I'm on, I want it to be powerful. I don't care if I don't even get there. Failure isn't as important as the quest itself. Sci-fi comedy, not as important as the quest itself. Human connection. Loving one another. Art. I'm at a point in my journey now where I'm becoming a wizard. And it might not be so prevalent on stage yet because I have so much, dare I say, trauma that I'm processing, that I watch myself create and think, and then I watch myself on stage sort of shooting myself on the foot a little bit. But with every performance, I cut that down. And now, since I've had that healing I talked about in the last episode, that is about how I found it so hard to feel loved. And if I thought I found something hard, I was failing. It's like just letting myself find it hard is the most empowering thing I have ever done. It's hard. It's hard to not self-sabotage. It's hard to not try and feel safe, especially in a situation where we will constantly try and feel safe. But holy fuck, moly. I'm posting more stand-up clips that are just, I don't know, in the future I'm going to think they're dog shit. Right now I'm like, it's fun that it happened. I'm practicing audio engineering. I'm practicing all the skill sets, even posting a 5-minute stand-up clip with jokes that I'm trying out just then and there for the first time. And people being like, why the fuck did you post that? I'm like, because I get stuff out of it. Maybe 20 people watch it. Great. In the future, that'll be 20 million. Great. I can delete them at any time. What have I got to lose? I'm going to die one day. And that'll be fine. But the idea here is that even then, like, I post a video and goes, oh, it didn't go viral. Why? Oh, it felt hard to go viral. Yes, it feels hard. Nothing more, nothing less. Anyway, this was the, I think this went for 15 minutes. This is the Sharam Namdarian podcast, or Sharam Namdarian's podcast. I'm not sure what I Call it I'm Sharam Namdarian, and this is the podcast. You've listened to it. Please, if you have any thoughts on what we spoke about, let me know. You're on this quest with me. You're on Vomit Quest. You're on it. If you listen to this whole thing, you are on Vomit Quest with me, whether as a participant, whether as a supporter, whether as something. Keep an eye out for this sci-fi comedy thing I keep talking about. Keep an eye out for dreams, goals, stand-up comedy clips. Keep an eye out for art. And more importantly, keep an eye out for your own art. We need it now more than ever. And if you don't know me, come down to Dirty Secrets Comedy, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. That's where I'm currently at all the time because I fucking run it. Me and Adem Ulatash, we run it together. And it's been really good recently. Which makes it hard. I've got to be more, we're just being more harsh. And it's not because I think people are crap. It's that I think the people we put on are good. And it's a challenge. Everyone's taking everything so fucking personally. Everyone's taking everything so fucking personally. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like. And if you did, then I like you. What do you want to make? Let me know. And if you don't want to make anything, that's also good. You're valid. You're valid. You don't need to make anything.